Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guide. This is another episode of the Android game development series, and in this video we are going to learn about how to create the brick pattern in our breakout game. And for this, instead of hard coding the pattern, we are going to basically make a small system to read it from a string instead. And what that would allow us to do is it will allow us to have multiple levels later on and be able to define them easily without having any problems. But before we do that, for some important changes, which is that, for example, when we are spawning the bricks, we want to start from the top, which means that we need to know where the top of the screen is. However, we do not know that until our renderer has run for the first time. So instead of waiting for that, we are going to go ahead and inside of our renderer class in the constructor, we are going to take a reference to the camera, and in the constructor we are going to initialize the left, right, and top of the camera. So the way we do that is that, as you can see here, after setting up everything and initializing OpenGL ES, we are going to just get the width and height, and then we are going to update the projection of our camera metrics just like we do in the update function, and we are going to do that at the start as well. Another thing you must do is that since our bricks are not going to have any functionality attached to them, you need to make sure that they're in the updating where we are updating our objects, we need to make sure that we only update them if the function is valid, and the same goes for the on touch events. So yeah, that's it, and now let's see how we are actually going to handle that. So first of all, we'll go ahead and create a const expression join 32 for the number of bricks that we want in a row, and we'll, for example, set that to 5. And then we are going to create another float, and this time this is going to be for the height of the brick, and you can set this to any value. 0.5 is usually like a good value for this. And then we are going to go ahead and make a brick width, and this width is going to be calculated dynamically based on the width of the screen. So we are going to say camera.zoom multiplied by 2, which is the width, and divide that by the bricks per row. So that will give us the width of an individual brick. So after doing that, we are going to go ahead and we are going to represent our stuff in a text-based format. So we are going to represent each level as a string, and we could load this from a file later on. For now, we'll just create a string here, and I'm going to call it map, and we're going to use a raw string literal, and we are going to specify the pattern like so. So we can say 1 1 1 1 1. This means that we are going to have 5 bricks. Then the next one is going to have a hole in the bricks, and similarly you can make any sort of pattern that you want, and any number of rows. Yeah, so like that you can make any rows, and we can add an extra one here, and the number of rows is not limited here, but the number of bricks per row is. So yeah, now let's go ahead and create a string stream to parse the data from that, and we're going to call this map stream, and we're going to initialize it with our map variable. And now we can go ahead and make another string for line, and we can go over the map line by line and parse each line as we go along. And we're going to use getLine, std getLine, to get each line from our map stream, and we're going to continue as long as we have lines. Now if we have an empty line, we are just going to skip over that, because that means we don't really want to do anything, and we don't want to get any wrong value. So we're going to skip over empty lines, and then we're going to create a string stream for the line. So we need another one to actually parse the integers from the line, and then we're going to initialize with our line string, and then we are going to start a loop, start at 0, and we're going to basically loop over each brick. So we're going to loop for the number of times for bricks per row, and then we're going to create an integer called value, and we're going to get that from our line stream. So this will be the value, and currently it's either 0 or 1, but later we could add different colors for different values. So after doing that, we are going to we are going to go ahead and we need to actually spawn the data, but for that we need to spawn the brick. For that we are going to define some position variable. So we are going to define a y position, which we are going to initialize to camera.top minus the brick height divided by 2. Since our objects are located at center, we need to subtract half of the bit height, brick height. And then we need to create an x position as well, and this is going to be camera.left, but since this is the left side, we are going to add the brick width divided by 2 here. And after doing that, after doing each row, so each row, after doing each row of data, we're going to take our y position, not x position. We're going to go ahead and take the y position, and we're going to add the brick height to it, so that we actually move down. And then for the x position, we're going to take that, and we are going to add the brick width to it as well. And after that, in order to actually spawn the data, we are only going to spawn the brick if the value is greater than 0, and if it is, then we are going to do objects.pushback with a new game object. And for this game object, we are going to set the tag to brick, and we'll use tags when we add the ball later on to determine whether we need to break the brick or it's a player or whatever. So we are going to add the tag, then we are going to add the position, then we are going to go ahead and set the size, and this is going to be just the brick width and brick height, but we are not going to take those as whole, but instead multiply them by 0.95 or something. That's because we want some gap between the bricks, so that we are going to just decrease the size and the width a little bit. Alright, so after doing that, now the next thing we need to add is the color, and of course we can use any color, and as I said, later we are going to make it so that different numerical values give different colors, but for now we are going to just set it to red. And yeah, that's pretty much all that we need to do. So this means that it should be working correctly. So now let's go ahead and try to run this to see how it goes. And you can see that we do not get our rows correctly, and that's because we actually added this. We need to subtract the y position because y moves down in our coordinate system. And if we go ahead and try to run that, you should see that we get all of the rows, and these are in the pattern that we described in our earlier map. So you can see that that is working nicely. Anyways, as a bonus, another thing that we can do is that as I said, we can use different colors. So here you can see I have done various numerical values, and I have created an std array of colors, and here I have added various different colors here, and you can add as many as you want here, and these values here represent the color that we want to choose for that particular wall, and brick actually, not wall. And when we are drawing these, what we do is we index our colors with that value, but we ensure that it's within bounds. So if it's less than or equal to the color size, we choose value -1, we subtract 1 because 0 signifies no wall, so 1 is actually index 0, and otherwise we go ahead and just choose the first color that's available if the correct value was not given. So if I go ahead and run that, you should be able to see that we get some colorful bricks here, and as you can see, these are working nicely. So anyways guys, this is going to be pretty much it for this video. I'll see you in the next one, in which we are going to add the final piece, which is the ball and the interaction between the ball and the players, and then we'll have the basic framework of our game completed. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe and share this video with other people as well, and bye.